Oh, good morning. So the IDF just said that they start to attack in Lebanon. You're in a war. Let's go.
So guys, it's 5:40 in the morning, and at 5 a.m., the Israeli spokesperson's office announced that Israel began a preemptive strike against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. This is in order to prevent a large-scale attack against Israeli communities that Hezbollah has been preparing in response for the assassination of their chief of staff. 4 hours ago, terrorist organizations and Iraqi militias sponsored by Iran began launching aerial strikes towards the direction of Israel. This includes drones and other aerial vehicles that can attack Israel. Okay, we're gonna go up north and see what's going on the ground.
I'm Yair Pinto, and this is My State, a program about current events, my belief in God, and my journey in the Holy Land. And behind me, that's the Golan Heights, where Hezbollah launched 250 rockets and drones at these Israeli communities. Israeli media reports that Hezbollah planned to launch at least 6,000 rockets and UAVs in a massive barrage towards the central and northern communities of Israel. In a preemptive strike, 100 Israeli Air Force fighter jets struck and destroyed 1,000 of Hezbollah's rocket launchers in southern Lebanon. In response, Hezbollah launched 350 rockets into Israel's north and the Golan Heights. With 17 Israeli civilians already dead and 67 wounded, it seems that despite being home to over 40,000 civilians, the Golan Heights has become an acceptable target for Hezbollah's escalating aggression. Since October 8, Hezbollah has fired more than 6,000 rockets, anti-tank missiles, and explosive UAVs at Israel's northern civilian and military targets. At least 85,000 Israelis have been evacuated from the northern border, and more than 21,500 acres, much of them forest preserves, have been burnt as Hezbollah rockets unleashed fires in the area. Initially, Hezbollah's rocket fire was concentrated within 5 kilometers of Israel's evacuated northern border area. However, in recent months, there has been a sharp increase in attacks reaching deeper into communities that have not been evacuated, resulting in the highest number of Israeli civilian casualties since October 8. Just look at this house next to me here that was hit by a direct missile from Hezbollah. We are now in Katzrin. This is an Israeli community in the Golan Heights that is not evacuated. Most of these fatalities occurred here in the Golan Heights, including a tragic incident where a couple was killed when a Hezbollah-launched rocket directly struck their vehicle. The devastation in the region reached a heartbreaking peak when a Hezbollah-launched Iranian-made Falak rocket hit a soccer field in the Druze town of Majd al-Shams, killing 12 children and injuring 50 others, one of the most tragic events for Israel since the war began. The Druze community became an integral part of Israel when the Golan Heights was seized from Syria during the Six-Day War in 1967. The hilly landscape, which spans over 500 square miles, also shares a border with Jordan and Lebanon. Despite an international controversy concerning the Golan Heights, Israel sees the Golan Heights as key to its national security interests and says it needs to control the region to fend off threats from Syria and Iranian proxy groups there. Following Hezbollah's massacre on the Druze community in Majd al-Shams, the spokesman for the National Security Council at the White House, John Kirby, said that the policy of the United States in the Golan Heights has not changed. Israeli control of the Golan Heights remains important to Israel's security. Beyond the Golan Heights' strategic importance to Israel, its historic significance is equally profound. The Golan was referred to as the land of Bashan, according to the biblical borders given to the people of Israel, as told in the book of Joshua. The Golan Heights is also the location of the Temple of Pan, which is the place where Christ revealed his true identity to his disciples. Archaeological excavations in the Golan have discovered to date about 25 synagogues that were used during the period between the Jewish rebellion in the 1st century and the Muslim conquest during the mid-7th century. The Druze settled and controlled the area in the 15th and 16th centuries until the Ottomans seized it. Under their control, in 1894, the French Jewish banker Baron Edmond de Rothschild bought back a large part of the Golan Heights for Jewish settlement. In 1941, the Golan was passed to independent Syria for just over 25 years until it was finally taken back by its rightful original owners in 1967, the people of Israel. I'm on my way to meet Yaakov Selavan, Deputy Mayor of the Golan Regional Council, to learn more about life and challenges facing this area. Hey, Yaakov.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for having us here in this community.
I would love to say it's a pleasure. Hope to host you here also in better circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. Sadly, everywhere we go is like, this is the situation that we see.
We're in war.
So before we go into explaining all of this destruction around us, can you share a little bit what it's like to live here?
The Golan is known as Israel's nature resort. You have water springs and, as I said, nature, a lot of ancient sites, biblical sites. We have here 4 Druze communities, 34 Jewish communities also, and till the war, it was heaven to live here.
When did that change?
April 14th, the massive Iranian attack, the Golan was one of the main targets, and a lot of the interceptions of killer drones and cruise missiles happened above our heads. Since then, Hezbollah set sort of an equation. Whenever the Israeli Defense Forces attacks behind a certain line in Lebanon, they strike the Golan Heights. Till a few days ago, most of the attacks were aimed at military bases, but because we have civilians living here, then we suffered from it also. In the last few days, what we see here is that the Hezbollah started striking directly the towns and the homes of the civilians.
Can you explain what happened in the recent escalation?
Several days ago, Hezbollah attacked the Golan with hundreds of rockets. Dozens of them were shot at the town of Katzrin, which we're standing in right now. The Israeli active protective system, the Iron Dome, which is partially funded by the United States, and this is a chance to say thank you to our American allies for the ongoing support. The Iron Dome took out many of these rockets, but unfortunately it's never 100%. Several rockets directly hit the homes behind us. Several people were injured. 8 homes were totally destroyed. The people right now are evacuated, living in Airbnbs. And 60 more homes suffered from collateral damage, which means the people can still live in them, but glasses, doors, different things are damaged. And as we speak today, August 25th, we woke up at 3:30 a.m., a call from the Home Front Command that we're going to be attacked in the next few hours because the IDF is striking in Lebanon to prevent Hezbollah from shooting thousands of rockets at Israel. Summer camps are canceled, prayers, field trips, beaches are all closed in the Sea of Galilee. You shut down your life for a day and all you have to do is just wait by a bomb shelter. You don't have time in the Golan to run. You need to be by the bomb shelter the whole time. In the Golan, you have between 0 to 15 seconds to find shelter. Therefore, in the Golan, what usually you do is you lie down on the floor and you put your hands on your head. That's the reality today, unfortunately. Wow. And this is something we didn't know in the Golan for 50 years, since the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Today, in northern Israel, life is shut. And in the Gaza envelope, in the communities there, life is continuing as usual. Yes. So this is right now the main front line, the northern frontier. Yeah. And we know that the greatest threat is from here, because Hezbollah is 100 times stronger than Hamas. That Hezbollah today, this terrorist organization, has a military force. They're much stronger than several armies in Europe.
We always hear in the news that some people get hurt by shrapnel or debris of the rockets. You brought some examples of what that is, so maybe we can show it to the camera and you can explain a little bit.
So these are Katyusha rockets, Hezbollah. And people need to understand that every little shrapnel like this can kill someone. And unfortunately, a lot of the damage we see to homes or to people are from small shrapnels. But Yair, I want to show you one more piece of metal. And in my eyes, that piece of metal is stronger than anything, and that's this. This is a replica of an ancient coin that was made in the Golan Heights in the year of 67, 3 years before the destruction of the temple. Just like now, also then, this was Jerusalem's first line of defense. And the Jewish rebels fighting the Romans were in a city called Gamla, and the city fell in the year of 67, October 67. 1900 years later, when Jewish fighters returned here and Jewish sovereignty returned to the Golan Heights, they found this coin. And it says in ancient Hebrew, "For the redemption of Jerusalem the Holy." It means that the people who lived there 1900 years ago had a meaning, had understanding what they're serving. They're serving a greater purpose. We don't just live here because we have the most beautiful views in Israel and great water springs, because we understand we're the frontier. We're protecting Jerusalem, we're protecting the rest of the country. Many towns, unfortunately, were evacuated. When the towns are empty, Hezbollah just shoots how much they want. So we decided we are standing our ground, and we have a mission that's greater than us. And this piece of metal, I believe, is much stronger than this piece of metal, which is trying to terrorize and destroy. And that's why the Golan community and leadership decided we are not evacuating.
As the war drags on, the human toll in Israel's northern regions is mounting. With the international community's stance on the Golan Heights and the ever-present threat of Hezbollah, it's clear that this region will remain a focal point of conflict in the Middle East for the foreseeable future. Please pray for all the civilians of Israel that live under constant fire from Hezbollah in the northern front of Israel. Please pray for the IDF soldiers that are risking their lives every day in order to defend us. Please pray for all those innocent people on both sides that are suffering because of these terrorist organizations. And pray for wisdom for our leaders and the leaders of the West to know how to move and what to do. And the most important thing is to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because we know that we are serving a mighty God and we will win this war because of him.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.